Hey guys, welcome back to another video. You can tell by the topic, we are going to be talking about heartbreak. And I'm making this video for me 1 year ago. This is the video I wish I had found while I was in the thick of heartbreak. I needed someone who was on the other side of it to tell me not only am I going to be okay, but to give me actual tools of how I was going to heal. How to stop the pain, even if it was temporary. I was in desperate need of relief. So these are the exact things that I did to heal my heart from the abrupt ending of a 20-year relationship. And I'm only 36, so do the math, that was the majority of my life. First, I want to recognize why heartbreak is so painful. And it's not so much the length of the relationship or the time frame of how long you guys have been together. It's more so the future that you thought you were going to have with them. It's painful because when you lose that person, you also lose friendships, you lose community, extended family members. Again, ultimately the future that you thought you were going to have, and oftentimes your identity. And that was something I was facing when my relationship ended. What this does is it suddenly makes you have to face all of the voids that this relationship was filling. The voids of your identity. Who are you without this person? Who are you by yourself? What is your life about? What are your hobbies? What are your desires? What gets you excited about life? All the voids in your social life and your friendships, there's going to be endless amounts of voids that you're going to realize this relationship was filling. Now, I think the hardest part is actually letting go. And I want to do this demonstration because I feel like this is a great example of what's going on inside of you when you are not letting go. So I want you to just hold your fist in a clench as hard as you can. Okay, I have nails on, so this really hurts. So just clench your fist as hard as you can. We're gonna count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. This is what is happening inside of you, that attachment, you not letting go. It is physically painful. Heartbreak is physically painful. It is not just emotionally painful. If you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about when I say it's physically painful. But how good did that feel to let go? To release the grasp, to release that attachment. This is why it's so important to officially release your grasp, release your attachment to that person. If they are no longer in your life, you have to let it go. And here's the thing, you may have not wanted the breakup. You may be the one that got broken up with. And the whole thing just feels wrong, but you have to trust that God has something better for you. Rejection is God's redirection, and I believe that 1,000,000%. He is not going to take something from you without giving you something better in return. I was reading this book, The Art of Thinking Clearly, and it talks about the sunk cost fallacy. It basically means you don't want to look at this thing as, look at all this time I've invested, look at all this energy I've invested. I've put 20 years into this relationship. I should not let this thing go, right? But what this teaches is to look at the future of this thing. If everything stayed the same, what does your future look like with this person? And this can apply to anything, a career, your job, friendships, other kinds of relationships. Does not matter the energy you put into it, the time you put into it. What matters is, what is the future of this thing going to look like? And while we're on this topic, get your notes out and write this down, because there is somebody watching right now that needs to hear this. We don't date potential, we date patterns. Let me say that again, because this could save somebody years of heartache. We don't date potential, we date patterns. It's so easy to look at someone and think, I see how great you are, how great you could be. But if the patterns aren't matching that potential, the patterns are what you will marry and what your life will be. Let's get back on track here. Now, in the beginning, those first few days, when the pain is unimaginable and you don't feel like you will ever be okay again. Take it from me, a girl who is a year on the other side of this. Things get better. It gets better. Your life will get better. I actually wanted to read something out of my journal because the other day I started at the beginning and was kind of reading through it, and I read a line that I think would be meaningful right now. What's interesting is I bought this journal, I wanted it to be here on like the 1st of January. I ordered this, it was in December of 2023. So I wanted this to be like my 2024 resolution was I was gonna write in my journal every single day. Well, it didn't show up on my doorstep for 2 weeks. I wanna say I ordered it on Amazon, maybe not. I just remember it taking a long time to get here and I was super annoyed about it. But the ironic thing is the day it got here was the day my relationship ended. So my first entry is, about that. Anyway, January 15th, 2024. Okay, let me see where that was. So January 15th, 18th. Okay, I'll read this line too. January 22nd. Today has by far been my hardest day. I've cried so much. My energy is drained. I feel so blah and negative. I wish I had journaled every day because I've had some good days. I thought it was right here at the... Bobby came over today and we had a good conversation. Bobby, I think this was the first time she came that year. We've basically been connected at the hip ever since. So that was January 22nd. Let's see. Oh, right here. Okay. I just wish I could skip this entire next year and make it out on the other side. Again, this video is for this girl that was like, where am I going to be in a year? I couldn't fathom where I would be in a year because I couldn't fathom the next hour. I was in such despair. I was so heartbroken. It's hard not to get emotional reading this because I can just remember how I felt. And when I say that I've been through a lot of heartbreak in my life, I've had multiple times with relationships where my heart was absolutely shattered. But also, I lost my dad a few years ago, 5 years ago, almost exactly. He was only 59. There was so much life ahead of him, and he passed away, and he was somebody I was very, 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 very close with. I lost a son unexpectedly when he was 6 months old. I will tell you firsthand, I promise you it gets better. Time heals, but there's also things you can be doing that will either be extending your suffering or minimizing it. What we do while we are experiencing heartbreak will either make or break you. Will make you into the person you were always meant to be, or it can break you and destroy you. I know for a fact if you are still here, there's a reason. And I promise you, your best days are ahead of you. Here's what I know though. You can't heal if you're constantly being misled in your mind. If you are always replaying moments in your mind, all of the good things, all of these amazing times. And trust me, I had a million amazing moments with my last partner. We had some of the funnest times ever. And it's addicting to do this. It's addicting to replay all the good things. But what you need to do is when you recognize these thoughts entering your mind, you need to stop them and redirect. Redirect those thoughts because it's only hurting you and making your suffering worse when you allow your mind to go to those places. And I'm saying this as while you are in your healing journey. Once you feel like you are healed and you have these memories and these moments enter your mind of good times, it doesn't hurt anymore. It's like I'm so glad that I had those good times with that person. It no longer hurts, it no longer causes pain. So while you are suffering, that's when I would say, recognize that thought and get it out of your mind. Again, for weeks and weeks, this was me at the very beginning, that's all I was doing. I was only thinking of all of the things that I would miss and just how heartbroken I was. And I was barely surviving hour by hour. I remember thinking like, okay, it's 7 o'clock, I made it. It's 8 o'clock, I made it. That is where I was. So now I want to share some tools that are going to actually help you when it comes to getting some relief from that pain. This is something I've come up with. There are 5 different tools that I'm going to talk about. They all start with H. I kind of did that on purpose because 3 of them started with H, and I'm like, maybe this will be easier to remember if we, 5 H's, okay? This is gonna help you heal from heartbreak. These are the 5 H's. First one being harness your thoughts. So I kind of already talked about this. You need to be constantly aware of your thoughts. When a thought comes to your mind about this other person or about memories, whatever, anything that's causing you that suffering, when that thought happens and you recognize you're thinking about it, you're going to stop that thought. You're gonna put your hand on your heart. This feels weird, but this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Then you're going to give yourself 3 compliments, okay? So again, it's gonna feel weird, but you guys, this works, I promise. I love my skin. I love my smile. I love how deep I love. Okay? And here's the thing, you don't even have to believe them, but repeated thoughts become your reality. So eventually you are going to believe that. So when that person comes to your head, oh, you're thinking of your ex, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, and say it with like everything you have inside of you and give yourself 3 compliments. The thought leaves. And I'm sure in a couple minutes it's gonna come back, but you're gonna do that same thing back. You can do it over and over again. While on this topic of harnessing our thoughts, I cannot tell you the importance of journaling. Journal every single day. I regret the days I did not journal because there were sometimes like a week or 2 or 3 that would go by and I'm like, man, what happened? Because all of a sudden I seemed so much more healed. but I wish I would have written down like what was happening every single day. I am grateful for every entry I have because I feel like it created a roadmap for me that I can be sharing with you guys. I know so much of what happened through my heartbreak because I journaled it. And what's really incredible is to be able to go back like I just did and read those first entries and see how different of a person I am, how much growth has happened. Nothing will make you more proud. So journal. Journal all of the thoughts. If you are screaming into your pillow, journal that. I'm screaming. I'm so angry. I feel this. I feel that. Write it all down. I had to go grab this real fast because another tip I want to share with this, your mindset, your thoughts, is when you are just having a negative day, when you are just in a negative mindset, blast your music. I have this speaker. This speaker and I are best friends. I did not go anywhere without the speaker. In the year of 2024, this was my best friend. And I'm not kidding. I constantly had music blasting on the speaker, and it was never sad music, anything but sad music. This was music that was gonna make me dance and make me move and just make me feel happy, even if it was just temporary, even if it was fake. Even if I really didn't feel that, I felt miserable and sad. For a moment, I felt super happy. And so whether you have a speaker or not, you can blast it on your phone. But this is just something that I did that was honestly, it was a journaling, shifting my mindset, and listening to music that was not anything people recommended to me, but something I did that truly made the biggest difference. The next one is humor. So what makes you laugh? What's your favorite TV show that you just laugh your head off every time you watch it? Force yourself to laugh. Force yourself to watch things that are going to make you laugh. Watch or listen to things. Something I love to do with my kids in the morning is we put on funniest home videos. It just makes the mood happy. Like the kids going off to school laughing in the morning is a great way to start the day. And so that was something we've done that for a long time, but in the year 2024, it was hard for me to do that. Like when you're not feeling in the mood to laugh, the last thing you want to do is put on something funny. Force yourself to do it because it can just completely change your state. The next one is a big one, and this is hobbies. What is it that you like to do? What is it that maybe you used to do and you don't do anymore? What have you always wanted to do or try but you never have? And if you still don't know, when you're scrolling on the gram and you see a girl doing this thing and it makes you envious, what is that thing? Do it. Go make that your passion. I used to paint and I loved to paint. It wasn't something I did often, but when I did it, I loved it. And so the first week or two after we had split, I went to Michael's and I got all new oil paints and I got paper and I just started painting. I don't even know where those paintings went, but it didn't matter. It was just me getting back to doing something that I love to do. I love to play the piano. I hated it as a kid, but I love it as an adult. I learned a song this year that I've been wanting to forever. It's a song my dad used to always play for us. Nobody else knows how to play this song. It's The Piano Man by Billy Joel. I learned that this year. I think it's also important that if your identity was wrapped up in this person that you were with, to start something new. Do something that maybe you never did before, so that if there are things that are reminding you of them and that's hard for you to do, find a new hobby. Do something completely different that you've just never done before and maybe have always wanted to try. This one's another big one, and this one is hope. Give yourself something to look forward to. I would recommend more than anything to create some kind of vision board of what you want your future to look like. You could make it a girls' night. I don't care, but make this a fun thing that you do where you decide exactly what you want your life to look like. Because if you're only focusing on all of the sadness of the past, you aren't going to be living for the future. So what are those goals and what are the action steps you can be taking daily to get you towards those goals? Put this somewhere you are going to see every day, and I would recommend it be a physical thing, like a board or inside of a picture frame. In fact, for the year of 2025, I went and got a new picture frame, and I'm going to be printing things off of Pinterest because I just feel like that's easier than getting magazine clippings. I'm just gonna print a few images off of Pinterest, and I'm gonna have this in my frame that I just look at every day. It's gonna be sitting here right next to my bedside. The thing is, your happiness depends on your progress. So if you aren't progressing towards something, you are going to feel miserable. Just you creating this could be everything. This could be what you've been needing and didn't know. Like, I just feel stuck. I feel like I can't progress. You need to know what you're progressing towards, because if you don't have those goals established, what are you even doing? What are you working towards? Why would you get up extra early in the morning or 10 minutes early to do these things if you don't have a goal, so having that goal, having that vision of what you want the next year to look like, the next 5 years to look like, you can create as many as you want of these. You could even just do one for the month. What do you want your month to look like? And then start working towards it. The next one is heartbreak meditations. Every day, especially in the beginning when I was having those meltdowns, I would have the most desperate prayers of, please just take this from me. Please give me some kind of relief because physically I'm in pain. And every time I would hear meditations, 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 I can't tell you guys how much these changed my life, completely changed my life. Because when I was in those moments of deep pain and suffering, I would turn on a meditation, and it didn't even matter what it was. Sometimes it was about heartbreak. I would just search different ones on YouTube, and they were just a few minutes long. What it did was it would relax me and it would completely calm my nervous system down. So I was going crazy internally, and suddenly I was just at peace. And so when you need that break, when your nervous system is completely out of whack and it's freaking out, and you do these meditations and it relaxes you, you need to do that. If you are finding yourself in that panic all the time, meditating is going to change your life. So I would do this for sure every day. Sometimes it was 3 times a day. And sometimes the day would be fine and then something would happen and it would trigger me so bad and I'd be freaking out. And every time, like magic, I'd pray and that was the answer. Meditate. Calm yourself down. And these guided meditations literally saved my life. I wanted to sit here now and just say how sorry I am that you are going through this painful season. You envisioned your life with somebody and it's not the case anymore. And I can empathize with you on the deepest level. Let me make this promise to you. God is aware of the pain you are feeling. Luke 4:18, he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted. Psalm 34:18, the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart. Psalm 147:3, he heals the broken heart and he bindeth up their wounds. Ultimately, if a relationship ended, and I like to rephrase that and say the relationship ran its course, it is now complete. You learned the lessons you were to learn in that relationship. The other person learned their lessons that they were to learn in the relationship. And now it's complete. And now it is time for you to live and move on to the next chapter of your life. You are supposed to grow. You're supposed to expand. You are supposed to become the greatest version of you. God would never take something from you without giving you something better. You are worried because it's not showing up right this minute. You have to not only have faith, but believe that something that is more aligned with you and who you are now after this relationship, something greater for you is on its way to you. This is something else I don't believe, but I know. In some ways, I feel like I have suffered a lot when it comes to heartbreak. I do feel in many ways that I have had an undeserved amount of heartbreak and pain in my life. But on the other hand, I also feel I have had an undeserved amount of joy and happiness and peace and incredible opportunities in life that I look back and why am I so blessed? So if you are currently in the trenches of heartbreak and you are experiencing a level 10 pain, know this. You are now equipped to feel a level 10 joy. You are going to experience the exact opposite of what you are feeling. And the good thing is, this pain is temporary, but the joy you can feel is permanent. You can have undeniable joy and peace and happiness that is just permanently in your life. And the suffering is only temporary, but now you are equipped to feel its opposite. The next season of your life will be more beautiful than you could even fathom. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and if you can't see it, use me as an example. Let me be that for you, to let you know things get better. I promise, I promise, I promise. Now, if this message resonated with you, or you think somebody maybe you know could use this message, I prayed before this that whatever words I shared in this, that it would find the people that needed to hear this, because again, this was the message I was looking for a year ago. The message I was hoping for. I wanted to see someone on the other side of heartbreak and to know I was going to be okay. I also wanted to say this is the first of at least 4 videos, I believe. I'm creating a whole series on the topic of healing from heartbreak. I'm going to share things from books that I read that completely changed my life, to what to do when you're feeling lonely and how to find joy in solitude. I have so many helpful tips that I'm excited to be sharing with you guys. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.